Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today to do another in the series of hashtag Top Tarot Trumps, started by the lovely Mascha at Musings by Mascha. And today we're on to card 5, we're on to the Hierophant. I had to think for a second there. So I've had a little look through all my decks, and I've pulled out some cards that I think that I like as the Hierophant, because the Hierophant's really not one of my favourite cards at all. I wish I'd actually got out a Rider-Waite-Smith to show you, although you all know what that looks like, but it's just, I think there's just something in that card that just immediately turns me off, just switches me off. It's the sort of overt religious nature, the sort of Pope-like figure in the card, that sort of sense of authority. I just really don't enjoy it at all. I think from a very, very young age, I've always kind of rebelled against that kind of energy, I suppose. I remember when I was a little girl, my mum and dad sent me to Sunday school for a time, which was a sort of Christian little Sunday school where you'd go and look at books and get told stories from the Bible and things. And my mum and dad were not religious at all. It was probably more that they wanted a quiet Sunday morning, I would imagine, rather than having me be taught anything. But I used to argue with the teachers in this class. I remember I didn't like being told how I should think. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the sense of sort of, it felt manipulative to me. And I think whenever I look at the Hierophant card, the traditional one, I still feel that very much. So the Hierophants that I've chosen today do not represent that kind of energy at all. When I think about the Hierophant in his positive sort of realms, I think about a teacher and that sort of archetypal principle of learning and teaching. And those teachings might involve communication of sort of specialised knowledge. I think when the Hierophant appears in a reading, he's often a sort of a teacher, a benevolent force, I think, a therapist, a counsellor, an advisor. But it could also equally represent somebody who was very much stuck in their sort of dogmatic theology or ethics and being quite stubborn about that, some cognitive dissonance going on. But anyway, these two cards I've got here, I just thought it would be really nice to show you them together. This is from, sorry about the glare, this is from the Pensive Path Tarot by Rhys Marin, which you will have seen me talk about before. And I thought I'd just show you the High Priestess and the Hierophant together, because I think that they're kind of a similar sort of energy, aren't they? In the same way that the Empress and the Emperor go together, the High Priestess and the Hierophant go together. They're more concerned with the spiritual, with more spiritual kind of teachings, I suppose. And I just thought these were so interesting, these two cards here, because the High Priestess is sat in darkness. Everything's very dark, which to me kind of represents her being in a place of her subconscious and her unconscious, being in her intuition a lot of the time. Sorry, I'm just looking at my cat. I might go and let him in a minute. So yeah, she's in a different place, isn't she? She's in an otherworldly, ethereal place a lot of the time. She's not always in our sort of material realm, is she? Whereas the Hierophant he's out in the world. I mean, looking at this card, he looks kind of Russian. I don't know why. It makes me think of Rasputin, somebody like that, but he's quite clearly outside his little church, and he will be amongst the people. And when I think about the Hierophant, I feel that that he, more than the High Priestess, has a capacity to walk a spiritual path, but with practical feet. You know, this is, like I said, this is a teacher. I think the High Priestess often doesn't want to give up the knowledge that she has. She likes her secrets. She often doesn't want to give up the things that she knows. Whereas the Hierophant, I think, is a different energy completely in that way, in that the Hierophant wants to share and wants to have that interaction with people. Like I said, in its very higher realms, this is a wonderful teacher, somebody very wise, could be a counselor or advisor, somebody that you could trust completely with your thoughts and feelings, somebody who teaches in the name of truth, you know, who doesn't just tell you what you want to hear. But I think in their lower levels, they can really have a tendency to cling to sort of dogmatic ideas and be quite stubborn about those things. So yeah, that's my first choice for the Hierophant. I really like this Hierophant here. Like I said, he's somebody that's walking a spiritual path with practical feet, I think. So there's that one. Let me just go and see if my cat wants to come in. You want to come in, lovey? Are you coming? Yes or no? Come on, love. Come on. Yes. 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 Purr. So, the second card that I want to show you is from this deck here, and this is the Book of Shadows. I think it's volume 2, and these are the backs, and this is the front, and I really like this. You know, although I said he for the Hierophant, and traditionally the Hierophant is a he, I have no issues with this kind of wise spiritual teacher person being female, and I love this card here. It's like she's a herbalist, or she works or runs a little sort of health food shop, and she's chatting to one of her customers and advising them, you know, engaging with them, being out, you know, being in the community, sharing that knowledge. Yeah, so I really like this. I think I saw this on Robin's Reflections channel as well. She also chose this card. So, yeah, I really like that. That's very nice. Let me put that back in the bag. And what have we got for my third card? So this is from the Oak, Ash and Thorn deck by Stephanie Burrows and Adam someone who I can't pronounce. This is the beautiful deck, which, oh, I still love. I love how white it is and how chunky it is. And the Hierophant card from this deck is an owl, and I love this. Isn't it beautiful? The wise owl. He's got his keys there, which we traditionally see. What else is there which we would normally see? He's got a sort of little scepter type thing there. We've got keys hanging down. Yeah. So I'm trying to look around the side of the camera. There's a little compass there, but it's just somebody that would be wise, you know. In the forest, this would be the little creature that you would go to ask advice, wouldn't it? I think the owls see everything, don't they? And although often I would associate, I think, an owl with a high priestess, but it fits the Hierophant also, I think. So yeah, I really like that one. What else have we got? So, what's in this tin here? So this is the Occultist tarot deck, which is an absolutely gorgeous tarot deck. Look at these, look at the backs. Just beautiful. One of my absolute favourite decks, this. And I like the Hierophant in this as well, because not only is the Hierophant a teacher and somebody that's very wise, like a therapist or an advisor, I think there's also a very scholarly element with the Hierophant. It's somebody that has that principle and that dedication, that commitment to learning and teaching. And I think that often his purpose really is to bring the spiritual down to earth in a way that is meaningful and understandable for people. So just in the same way as this one here, really, I would imagine that this Hierophant also is somebody that studies and has their head in a book a lot of the time. So I really quite enjoy this card here. As I said, there's always that caution with this card of not being too dogmatic, not being stuck in sort of outdated ideas, or you know, not having an open mind about things. So yeah, that is the Occultist. Let me go back in. And I've got 2 more cards actually to show you. I've got 6. The last one is really just because I just am fascinated by it as a card. But the next one is from the Tarot of Light. This is not a deck I get out that often. Oh, look at him, he's having to kill his cigar, bless him. He's got a big cigar that's full of catnip. Oh, you can't see him. Can you see him? No, you can't see him. George. So yeah, it's this card here. The Teacher, Guidance. And I like this one very much. This is a female again. Let me have a little read from the book and see what it says, because I think that was what impressed me actually, was the guidebook for this. So let's have a look. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears in a form you will learn from. The answers you seek are finding you. The teacher is awakening. Her third eye sees and teaches the true nature of inner wisdom. The energy of Indian saint, and I can't pronounce that word, Indian saint there, this one here, that one. It flows through this image. She reminds us to unlearn all we have learned so we can feel a direct connection to the teacher within. Like Socrates, she did not write anything down, but inspired those she encountered to know themselves, to be self-realized in order to set themselves and all others free. She pointed people in the direction of their heart so they could create their own unique path, while also stating, all paths are my paths, and I have no particular path. And that was what I really liked so much about this card, is there's none of that dogmatism, there's none of that rigid theology or ethics or control or authority. This is all paths are my paths. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So the teacher asks you to focus on your values. What is most important to you? What is it that you do that no other person has to motivate you to do? The teacher's ability resides within every one of us, and this card gives you the tools to travel where she has already explored. She holds the keys to transformation and points you towards your answers. Your questions are pulling a physical or symbolic teacher towards you. This teacher will unlock doors and invite you within to explore the mysteries. So there, I really like that. That's beautiful, isn't it? All paths are my paths, and I have no particular path. That's really nice. This is a beautiful deck, actually. I should really use it more often. There's a lot of trees in this deck, which I really enjoy. And the last card that I've got here is from my Osho Zen deck. And for the Hierophant, for this card, we have no-thingness. Not nothingness, no-thingness. And a black card, an empty card full of space, full of potential and possibilities. So again, I'm just going to read a little bit from the book, just because this card just fascinates me, really. I've read this little guidebook several times, and I'm still struggling really to get my head around the no-thingness of the Hierophant. Maybe it's a similar thing to all paths are my path and I have no particular path. It's that no-thingness. So it says here, being in the gap can be disorientating and even scary. Nothing to hold on to, no sense of direction, not even a hint of what choices and possibilities might lie ahead. But it was just this state of pure potential that existed before the universe was created. All you can do now is to relax into this no-thingness, fall into this silence between the words. Watch this gap between the outgoing and the incoming breath, and treasure each empty moment of the experience, as something sacred is about to be born. The nothing is not just nothing, it is all. It is vibrant with all possibilities. It is potential, absolute potential. It is unmanifest, yet it contains all. In the beginning is nature, in the end is nature. So why in the middle do you make such a fuss? Why in the middle, becoming so worried, so anxious, so ambitious? Why create such despair? Nothingness to nothingness is the whole journey. And like I said, I think that this card just fascinates me, really. I find it really interesting. And I think the more I think about it, this no-thingness, this sort of Buddhism that we've got here, this Buddhist philosophy of the nothingness to nothingness is the whole journey, is like the other card that I showed you, isn't it? It's that I have no particular path. All paths are my path. It's about being open and not closed down, not shut down, not stuck in rigid thinking patterns, not stuck in rigid dogmatism, outdated thoughts and beliefs like we would find really in the old-fashioned Rider-Waite-Smith Hierophant, that sort of religious pope type figure, who's not there to experience, they're there to push their will and their thoughts upon you, aren't they? They're not there to share and encourage you to open your own mind to your own possibilities and your own potential. They're there to push their thoughts onto you. So, yeah. So there we go. I think I have waffled on enough, haven't I? Yeah, let me see, what is it, 20 minutes? Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed seeing all those cards. Some of them, unfortunately, I've put away back in the boxes, haven't I? But anyway, do say hello, and I'm gradually getting through everyone's videos, and I love to have a little chat with you, so do say hello, please, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you.